News 46 is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, a hit-and-run driver is arrested. Several churches participate in the Blood Moon bonfire. And teens from all over attend Threads Fest over the weekend. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, April 7th, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. An update has been released by the Nye County Sheriff's Office regarding an auto versus pedestrian accident which occurred on Friday afternoon. According to the police report, at approximately 3 p.m. on April 3rd, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to the parking lot of Walmart on Highway 160 in reference to a motor vehicle versus pedestrian accident. Upon arrival, witnesses informed the deputy that a silver gold-colored car being driven by a blonde female hit an elderly male in the parking lot. The male was located on the concrete in the parking lot. A witness also told deputies that they had written down the license plate number of the vehicle and that the car had fled the scene. The male was transported to Desert View Hospital by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue. Nye County Sheriff's Office dispatched informed deputies that the car was registered to a Rosalie Casio with an address on Cynthia. Deputies also received surveillance footage of the accident from Walmart. Casio was arrested at her home, and in her driveway was a silver Hyundai Elantra with the same license plate that was witnessed at the accident. The female told police that she had left the scene to go get help because she was scared. Rosalie Casio was placed under arrest and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And a two-vehicle accident happened last night in the intersection of Charleston Park and Barney Street. A two-vehicle accident occurred last night on Charleston Park and Barney Streets. Both vehicles were off the roadway when Nye County Sheriff's deputies arrived on scene. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were also dispatched to the scene. However, upon arrival, all declined to be transported to local medical facilities, according to police. The cause of the accident is still under investigation by Nye County Sheriff's deputies. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And the community bonfire held by a local church was well attended. The pastor wanted to make it clear that this event was not a public book burning as originally thought.
Tonight we're having an Acts 19 bonfire. When Paul went through the city of Ephesus in the book of Acts, he found a bunch of people there who were into a lot of satanic rituals and so on. And when he preached Jesus to them, they turned their lives over to the Lord. And they took all their books of incantations and all their idols and those types of things, and they burned them in a public bonfire.
And so you're having this here at, is this your location of your church? Or?
No, this particular property belongs to New Hope Fellowship. They're letting us use it for this purpose. We did the revival here last year, same place.
There's a lot of pastors involved in this bonfire.
We have several, yes. And so part of what we're doing is to bring the churches together. Because why should we have to be separated? We all serve the same God. You know, we have the same beliefs, so why not be the same church, you know?
There was a lot of hype going on about a book burning. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you know, because somebody just said the wrong word, called it a book burning. That's the last thing I would ever do is burn a book. Any Bible from any religion, if it was brought here, I would want to have it back to the respective religion.
We've been seeing people throwing kind of written paper, things that they would like to write down.
Yeah, they're writing down different issues in their life, and we don't know what they are. Maybe somebody has a problem with alcoholism or drugs, or maybe it's pornography. It could be a number of things. Maybe just an attitude problem. Maybe they want to get rid of the anger in their life, and they're saying, Lord, I just want to offer this to you And so into the fire it goes, and so it's symbolic.
And you also spoke a little bit beforehand about this being kind of a cleansing experience, to throw your troubles in there and be able to walk away from here.
It's kind of that way. I kind of compare it in a way to water baptism. When you get saved, you get baptized in water, which is because what happens, you get saved, you have an inward work that took place, and so the baptism is an outward sign of that inward work. Mm-hmm. And so you go in the water, you come back, and it's like I'm telling the world I'm cleansed of my sin. Tonight, this is public. I'm telling the world I found a few more of them, and I'm getting rid of them, and I really want to do this and get it right.
You spoke about you attending many other bonfires similar to this. There's a lot of history behind this, right?
Yeah, I pastored at Calvary Chapel and also Dove Ministries in Las Vegas years back. And of course, we had a church of like 5,000 people. So it was just one church doing a big bonfire, and it was huge. And I thought, well, a lot of the churches in Pahrump are small. Let's incorporate everybody that we can so we can have a nice bonfire with a lot of people.
When we return, your Desert View Hospital health tip.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Welcome back to News 46. Each year, more than 1.5 million women in the United States undergo a breast biopsy. After a breast biopsy, a pathologist evaluates the tissue to provide a diagnosis for the patient and her doctor. The results can range from normal or benign cells, precancerous cells, to invasive cancer. A new study examined the accuracy of pathologists interpreting different breast biopsy specimens.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Abby Howell always had normal mammograms. 2 years ago, something changed, prompting her to have a breast biopsy.
I had atypical cells. It was really confusing to me, and I couldn't figure out exactly what that meant.
When a woman is told she has atypia or given another diagnosis of pre-invasive disease known as ductal carcinoma in situ, these are not the same as a cancer diagnosis.
I think it's a challenging job that the doctors have to try and define what is atypical versus what's normal and what's pre-invasive. We're having a hard time in these middle borderline categories.
Dr. Joanne Elmore from the University of Washington in Seattle and co-authors enlisted 115 volunteer pathologists around the country. The pathologists interpreted a total of 240 test slides containing different samples of breast tissue. Those results were then compared to a standard developed by a group of very experienced expert breast pathologists.
These doctors had almost complete agreement on cases of invasive breast cancer. They were not in as high of levels of agreement when there was atypia present or a ductal carcinoma in situ.
For ductal carcinoma in situ, or DCIS, pathologists agreed in about 4 out of 5 cases, but when interpreting atypical cells or atypia, they only agreed about half of the time.
Women with these diagnoses are then getting additional treatment, additional surveillance, being told that they are at very high and increased risk for subsequent breast cancer.
The pathologists also disagreed more frequently when interpreting samples from women with denser breast tissue.
Now we know which cases are the most challenging. Now we can study how much improvement we can get by adding in second opinions.
Abby did get a second opinion. She and her doctors opted to monitor her with regular mammograms, which continued to be normal.
For me, I felt like I knew enough that I was willing to take the risk of waiting.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
Thanks so much, Catherine. Study authors report that pathologists also disagreed more often if they interpreted fewer cases in their actual practices. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies are requesting the public's assistance in identifying 2 suspects in an armed robbery which occurred on Saturday. An elderly disabled veteran who was in a wheelchair called the Nye County Sheriff's Office to report being robbed at gunpoint at his home by 2 male suspects. The incident occurred at approximately 2:45 p.m. and the 2 suspects were described as follows. Both appeared to be older teenagers with dark skin. The first was wearing a t-shirt and a pair of dark shorts. He was approximately approximately 5 foot 6 inches tall and average build. He was in possession of a dark-colored off-road type bicycle. He threatened the victim with a pistol and demanded his wallet. The second suspect was slightly taller and larger in stature. He was wearing a t-shirt and long jeans. Both suspects were last seen fleeing eastbound on Basin Road towards Lola Lane and possibly turned northbound on Lola Lane. They are currently at large and should be considered armed and dangerous. Detectives are requesting the public's immediate assistance in the event the suspects are seen or known and identified. Please call the Nye County Sheriff's Office dispatch at 751-7000 with any information. Callers may remain anonymous. Threads Fest was held this past Saturday in the lot next to the clothing store on Loop Road. We caught up with Threads owner Nick Moore prior to the event.
We haven't done a concert in a little bit of time, and with canceling Extreme Thing in Las Vegas, and granted it's not Extreme Thing, but it's the concert and the music of that venue, and we're trying to give everybody an opportunity to have a place to listen to it all and have a good time.
What happened with Extreme Thing?
It's a funding issue. Clark County Parks and Rec, Clark County felt that it wasn't, that it didn't pencil the way they wanted it to. Yeah. So I'm not, the powers that be. So those have spoken, and it's really unfortunate because it was a great event. Talk about 25,000 people every year, and but it did, push me forward a little bit to do something a little bit so that we can have something and those kids have a place to go and listen to their bands that they like to hear.
Threads Fest has always been really popular out here, so we are benefiting from that by bringing this event out here. But it's not going to be exactly Threads Fest. It's more like the Backyard Barbecue and Threads Fest combined, right? Yeah,
the time frame that we had wasn't. We didn't have enough time to put together because it was all about these bands and this lineup, so we had to put it together really quick. So unfortunately, we weren't able to do, the skate and bike competition that we've done, and usually we'll have like 80 vendors come out. We didn't really promote that much for that because we were just trying to make it a secluded, an exclusive event that more concert driven. We are going to have, we've got PV Wings and Things is doing all the food, and Eric, Chef Eric is going to be catering the event, and so there'll be great food. We have Royal One clothing coming out. We're going to have our clothing. There's a few vendors out, local vendors that'll be out here showing their goods off, and it'll just be a good time.
And Inspiration Senior Living is having a drum circle this Thursday. The public is invited to attend.
Hi, I'm Tanya Brum from Inspiration Senior Living, and as you've seen, we have been doing a lot of activities at Inspirations that are available to the public. We have a really fun one coming up on April 9th, which is a Thursday. It'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll be in our living room, and it's Why Music Makes You Happy, along with a drum circle. Kelly Hammond is our activities director. He's a professional musician, and he's going to be talking about music and singing and doing sing-alongs with everybody there. And then Andrew Jane from Nye Communities Coalition, he's going to have a drum circle. He's going to explain all the different aspects of why drum circles are so important. But that's at Inspiration Senior Living at 1554 South Java Street, 89048. It's just west of Pahrump Valley Boulevard and the Honeysuckle Park. Please come and join us. If you want more information about this particular activity, please call me at 702-845-4748. And to reserve your seat, please call 751-2300 and give them your name for the music activity on the 9th. Thank you so much, and I'll see you there.
Of your Angie's List and tell you about the power outage in Washington, D.C. when we return.